Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis says, there are many little ways to enlarge your child's world. Love of books is the best of all. Welcome to Readers for Growth. I am Busola Faiga Opelu, and I have with me Favor Hosea. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Bill Ejeze.
Thank you.
Welcome to the program. Mirabel Shakarao.
Thank you.
Treasure Onaja.
Thank you.
Our guest on Readers for Growth is a mother, a lover of books, Senator Biodun Olujimi. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Ma, please, what was life like when you were growing up?
Children, it's nice to have you.
Yes, thank you.
You look good. You look so sharp. I
Thank
hope
you,
you're
Mama.
really sharp with your studies.
Yes, ma'am.
Life when I was growing up was very pleasant because we had adults who supported us as children. They were part of our lives and they helped us through our studies. Most of them didn't go to school, but they had native intelligence. And it was their native intelligence that they used to guide us, to ensure that we were better children, to ensure that the culture and society didn't destroy our values, to ensure that we took as important those values that will make a better child. And some of them are honesty. It's a big virtue, and they instilled it in us. The art of facing your studies was also a virtue, and good children imbibe that. They also inculcated in us religion, the fear of God. And that fear of God was what prevented us from being bad children. And we have grown from there. That is why you find people of my age are usually intent on discipline. That is the way we lived. It was a beautiful time. We had our challenges like you're having now. There were no cars then like now. We trekked to school. In fact, we carried our boxes on our head. Most of us were bald because our boxes were made of steel. And carry it to and from school every day. We walked to school. I'm sure you now take vehicles to school. We didn't have that luxury then. But that is where we have taken our resilience from. We're stronger today because of all those tiring and grueling things our elders took us through. And it has made us better human beings that we are.
Ma, please, how has reading helped you in life?
Reading helped. There is nothing else to do in life because if you are a child and you don't know anything about books, you are not reading, you don't know about history, you don't know about civics, you don't know about biology, you don't know about ICT now, you don't know about all those small things that makes the world go round, you won't be able to be a strong force in the society. Reading is what has assisted me and all the people in my journey. Because when you read, you broaden your horizon. You know about other climes. You know about other issues that are trending in other places, which you are not privileged to know because of your small society. But reading broadens it out. In fact, they say the world now is a small village, and that is due to reading. Reading is what took us through school, ensured that we stayed balanced, and for people like me, I hate to be idle. I always take one course or the other so that reading can continue because the brain tends to slow down when you stop reading. And when you keep reading constantly, it's sharper, you are stronger mentally.
Ma, how can we improve the lives of children?
I think society now is kinder to you than it was to us. In our own time, we didn't have ice cream. Ice cream was something of the exotic. In our own times, like I said, nobody took us to school. But what has happened now is that we now have social media, we now have ICT, we have so many contending issues for children. I believe for us to make your lives better, we need to train you in the path that you must not deviate from. And that path is to inculcate honesty, the virtue of integrity, for you to know that wrong is wrong, right is right. And for us to be able to ensure that you can decipher between the two. You know what is wrong and you don't follow it. You know what is right and you stay put on that path. And the only way you can get that is by facing your studies, by reading hard, by ensuring that everything you read, you internalize, which means you take them through your person so that you can reduce them to what is happening in your own vicinity. And then you can now say, oh, this is how this affects me. I believe parents must be up and doing. We must ensure that we bring you up properly. We tell you how it was with us, what has changed with us, and what you should do going forward.
Ma, please, how do we instill a love of reading among children?
I think we must partner with schools, with teachers. Teachers must be able to ensure that at least 30 minutes of every day is devoted to reading. That is the way children can get used to reading. And I believe that programs can also be evolved, which will bring students together so that they can share in this reading habit. We can also form societies. The reading club, we used to have it. I don't know if it still exists, but we had the Readers Club, where we could go and sit under a tree and read different verses and different chapters of different books. And the way you continue them, the suspense makes you want to go the next day to ensure that you complete the entire story. And you see, in my time we had magazines that were targeted at children. I believe we should resurrect them now so that children have something to occupy them and some things that they are happy to do, because I know that it is best when you enjoy what you're doing. And if we can make you enjoy reading, it will be better. I believe we also have not done enough. We should sit together, put our heads together so that the reading habit can be propelled in our children. The Ministry of Education also has to do something so that the curriculum also embraces the need for every child to read and understand and be interested in reading further.
Thank you. Ma, please, what do you think the world will be like when every child knows how to read?
It will be the best of the world. That would be the day when we will be able to say, in my village, everyone is able to read and write and understand what is happening in other climes and even in their vicinity. The art of reading is key to everything that we do. And the world will be the best if we can all read and write, so that there is no mutual suspicion amongst us. If I can read and the person close to me cannot, he or she is suspicious of me, because he will think I am just using that to bamboozle him, or to tell him stories that don't exist. But imagine if all of us can read. It means you can understand me, and I can understand you. I can know where you're coming from, and know where we shouldn't go. I believe that is utopia, but we can get there if we start inculcating the reading habit in all children, especially children of Nigeria.
It benefits to read. You grow higher when you read, and you gain wisdom when you read.
Readers who read to improve themselves, who read to educate themselves, and who read for success rule the world.
For you to grow and become a senator, you must learn how to read. Read to understand. Read as many books as you can.
Reading helps you develop yourself intellectually, academically, and otherwise.
The secret to being proficient in reading is to read every day and to read outside of your curriculum, to read novels and to read books of interest.
A well-read child is a cultured child, a successful citizen, and the future of our great country. And that's why all parents need to encourage their children to read.
I'm sure you know that the best way to go in life is to face your studies. And to face your studies, you must diligently take each subject after the other and ensure that you read and understand them. Wherever you cannot understand, you need to ask questions. The ability to ask questions is the route to getting better. Because when you ask questions, people tend to explain to you, and explanations stick even faster than actual bland reading. I believe you must face your studies. You must imbibe honesty, and honesty of purpose. Honesty of purpose is to define where you are going and face it squarely, and not deviate, and not allow peer pressure or funny friends to influence you. You must be up and doing. You must know that the world only supports a child who is able to stand his own educationally. And that is what is important in life. I wish you all well, and I believe that when you leave here, you must go back to your schools and try to speak to others so that they know the values of education, and they also, in turn, talk to others. Thereby, we will be sending the right messages down the line, which will improve all our children and ensure that you toe the path of peace, you toe the path of honesty, you toe the path of integrity, you toe the path of wisdom and intelligence, and you fear God all that you do, so that your lives can be peaceful and you can also be able to impart on future generations. I wish you well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Let us read. And the art of reading means you must read every paragraph well for clear understanding and to put the punctuation where they should be. I'll read chapter 7 of Adamu and his horse. Adamu had been with his hosts for a score and 1 day. He had been useful to them, helping on the farm, as well as fetching firewood to feed the big fire which burned day and night. On 2 different nights, he had gone hunting with the man. One day, they had returned with a big buck, which the woman had taken out to sell in the village. So, Adamu was gradually becoming part of the family and a dear friend of the man. He often sat with the man under the lone tree in the courtyard, and both would talk far into the night. Such was the situation this night when the moon was bright and stars shone in the sky, that the 2 men, after their evening meal, sat under the tree and discussed. It was the man that did most of the talking, while Adamu listened in awe. "Several dry seasons ago," said the man, "famine and threat of war drove us out of our ancestral village. Then we came here, where we found so much of peace and joy that we had remained even after the famine had gone. We built these 2 simple huts here, one for my wife and me, and the other for our guests. Since you have been with us, I'm sure you have seen how we live. I usually spend my time cultivating that piece of land by that big pool of rainwater settlement over there. The water is there all year round, scorning the dry seasons. I plant corn and vegetable on the waterbed. Sometimes I hunt as well. And once in a while, I send my wife with corn and vegetable, even bushmeat, to the village, just as she did the other day. She sells those things and uses the money to buy our needs. Our village is about 3 days' journey from here." Adamu just stared at the man in surprise. How can a man and his wife find joy and peace in a desert which is full of wild animals, he thought, and then asked the man, "But what about the wild animals? Don't they bother you?" The man laughed mildly. "Thank you, young man," replied the man, and he picked the thread of the conversation from where Adamu had interrupted him. "Yes, I shall lead you back. That is one thing I enjoy doing in this place. Leading straight." Sorry, I think we missed it. I believe the man laughed mildly. "My young man, we have been here for many dry seasons, so we know the times and the seasons to move around in this desert, so we do not cross the paths of these wild animals. We respect them and they return our respect by not attacking us, so long as they are not provoked. Lest I forget, one thing has kept us going and given us joy here, and that is saving the travelers who strayed from the ancient route and leading them back to the ancient route. So I'm not the first to stray from the ancient route." Adamu caught him with a pleasant surprise on his face. "No, young man, it is far from it. Only that your matter is a little different and a bit difficult. You have suffered a great deal. The condition I found you that night told the story of how much you have suffered. Anyway, so many travelers have strayed to this place, and after the rest for 2 or 3 days, I lead them back to the route." "Does that mean you can lead me back to the route?" Adamu asked expectantly. "Yes, of course I can. My problem is that you are too different from those who have been hosted in the past. You are a nice young man, and I am enjoying your company. I wish you would stay with me so that we, together with my wife, can keep the fire burning and save the lost." So I have deliberately failed to tell you that I can lead you back to the root for fear of parting with you. Now, I see you are committed to the journey. Therefore, inshallah, I shall lead you back to the ancient route. One could not say what touched Adamu so much in what the man had said that made him to sob. Was it the compliment or the promise to lead him back to the root? Nevertheless, he rose and embraced the man warmly. He was short of words to express his joy. As he went, excitement and expectation were discernible in his face. He muttered in a choked voice, "You are a wonderful man. I am grateful." "Thank you, young man," replied the man, and he picked the thread of the conversation from where Adamu had interrupted him. "Yes, I shall lead you back. That is one thing I enjoy doing in this place, leading straight travelers back to the root. So we make this smoky fire to attract the attention of lost travelers. It is our hope that when they see the smoke, they will know that there is help awaiting them here. That was why I was happy when you said you saw the smoke. The smoke has served its purpose once again. I am so delighted. As I earlier said, there had been many more before you who missed their way in the desert. But those who cared to trace the source of the smoke as you did were rescued. But I must say that many who have perished did so either because they did not see the smoke or they were just too careless about it. Therefore, I must thank you for making our efforts worth the trouble. Indeed, I salute your courage to have come after the smoke." "Thank you," Adamu responded. "Anyway, if I may ask you, when do you want me to lead you back to the root?" "Lead me back to where?" Adamu asked, as though he did not understand the man. "Lead you back to the ancient root, of course," retorted the man. "Even tonight I am ready," Adamu said, enthused. The man laughed and slapped Adamu on the back. "I see you are such a desperate and ambitious man. Do you hate us so much that you do not want to stay with us till next moon?" asked the man teasingly. "Not really. If I had a choice, I would spend the rest of my life with you, for you are such a wonderful couple. But tonight, not tonight, I have told you. But not tonight, I have told you. But in 3 days' time, when the weather is fairer and the moon stays till dawn." "Oh, I'm grateful. But the journey without your horse? I'm afraid for you," said the man, looking unhappy. "Don't worry, I will make it, even without my horse. Although it's going to be tough, my mind is made up." "That's fine. You are such a brave traveler. Inshallah, in 3 days' time, at the first cockcrow, I won't forget." So at cockcrow on the 3rd day, Adamu led his host, set out to link the ancient route. The parting had been painful as Adamu and the man's wife bathed each other with parting tears. "My dear young man, may the Almighty preserve and keep you out of every danger as you continue your journey. Whether we meet again or not, we will always remember you and wish you well. Farewell and goodbye," the woman said. Adamu had been restless since the night his host told him he would lead him back to the root. He had been so anxious that he did not sleep throughout the nights. It has been as though the 3 days should roll into one. In 3 days' time, when the weather is fairer, echoed in his ears again and again. Even before the cockcrow, Adamu had woken up and put things together in the sack which the woman had given him the day before. She had also given him clothes. and enough food to last him for several days. Now, as he walked briskly after his host under the morning dew, he prayed that the man would not change his mind. Nothing in life was more important than linking the ancient road. At the dawn of the following day, Adamu and his host arrived at route. And this ends our reading. Thank you very much, children, for taking time out to be with me and to listen and to be read to. I hope that one day you will also have time to read to other children and also adults like me alike. God bless you. And so, dear parents, here we are. There is the need to imbibe the reading culture in all our children. As custodians of these children, we must take them in the path of righteousness. And the way to do it is to encourage them to always read. Read their Qurans, read their Bibles, and read their books. Be diligent, be good children, and imbibe the culture of well-being and integrity in all our children. I pray that God will give us the wisdom to lead them aright.
A big thank you to our guest, Senator Biodun Olujimi, for being part of today's edition of Readers for Growth. Thanks to the children, Favor, Bill,
Thank you.
Treasure,
Thank you.
Maribel,
Thank you, ma'am.
and to you, the kids out there, for watching the program. Don't forget, next week is another date on Readers for Growth. I am Busola Faiga Beolu. Read today, lead tomorrow. Bye for now.